How did you turn your life around? Stopped caring about things I can't control and put all my energy into the things I can. It sounds hard, but there's actually a lot you can control, and that doesn't leave much room for the other S. I want to start doing this too. Can you share examples? It's best to start with your habits and your surroundings. Every week set aside time to clean up. My rule is, if I would be embarrassed to show an area I live in to someone, I should take time to make it presentable. You'll feel accomplished, proud, and start building generally good habits that can be used at home and out of home. Set aside some time to exercise, like run, some weightlifting, jogging, meditation, something physical that you can be happy to do at the same time. It has great effects mentally and physically, and you'll generally feel more confident. I also try to remove bad things out of my life I frankly don't have good self-control over. Junk food, alcohol, smoking, etc. I'll buy a 6-pack of beer every couple of weeks, and no more sodas, chips, etc. Put good in, get good out. These are all things I can control and work for me to live a happier life. I also try to remove bad things out of my life. Key element here. Often when we think about happiness in our lives, we think about what we can add to increase it. But we are very good at adjusting to a new normal quickly, so added happiness is often fleeting. Removing unhappiness can frequently have more lasting effect on your overall quality of life. Yeah, very much this. We all sort of adjust as a survival mechanism to our baseline, and I think if you realize that that baseline can be increased, the times of crisis pass, the times of awesomeness pass. You get accustomed and nothing is ever enough. INHO, and one thing I have tried to do is be okay with the here and now and excited about my life regardless of what I'm going through. I'm going through an unwanted, by me, divorce right now, and I could kick and scream and nothing would stop it. So I'm trying to just be okay with having STI days sometimes and some good. I lean into the pain or loneliness or what I'm feeling, and inevitably it passes. Just like anything else. Don't only stop and smell the roses. Stop and smell the S too. And try to jive with it even more than the roses. I got injured in a car accident, rear-ended. Lost my business, and my wife of 19 years eventually left for another man, leaving behind a 17-year-old daughter and 2-year-old son. No job, no car, no money, 2 kids and $2K a month in rent coming due. 2 days after she left, I took my real estate license test. I passed. I had planned to surprise her, but had hid that I was studying in case I failed. Either way, it wasn't enough, and I ended up taking a job at Amazon. I worked a graveyard shift while my daughter stayed home with my son. I also did open houses on the weekend in hopes someone would walk in unrepresented. It still wasn't enough, so I signed up to drive Uber and Lyft. I had been able to pick up a decent vehicle from a family member for cheap, and I was in business. I switched my graveyard shift to a day shift and started driving through the nights. The money was alright, but I realized I could make a little more if I switched from Amazon to another large company in the area. So I did. I did that for about a year. Things were okay. I was making good money, and then Coldwell Banker fired me. I didn't think Coldwell fired anyone, as long as they were paying their dues. I had never sold a house, so all it meant was I needed to switch to another broker. Turns out that was a blessing in disguise. A friend called on my way to sign with Keller Williams and convinced me to sign with a temp agency. I was skeptical, but what did I have to lose? The first and second day I was placed with Toll Brothers. It was alright, and I could see myself doing that. On the third day I was sent to a local developer, and my world was changed. The broker of record and the local developer took me under their wing. After a few months they hired me away from my temp broker, gave me a salary and commissions, and provided me with an opportunity to change my kids' lives forever. I was able to go from working 4 jobs to just 1, and I have learned more about myself than I could have ever imagined possible. It's been 3.5 long years, but I wouldn't change a thing if I could. I just got hired at Amazon. I'm also here turning my life around and trying to gain financial independence from my parents. So far so good. Days are long, but I'm here doing it, not gloating, relating. Glad everything worked out for you too. If it's any help, your response didn't sound gloaty at all. People have mistaken me relating to gloating. Sometimes I feel the need to specify. Thanks. When I was a teenager I was homeless. A lot of places wouldn't hire me because I had no experience or interview clothes. I went to the Board of Education and begged the our lady to give me a chance at any job. I told her I'd scrub the school with a toothbrush if they paid me. They made me a general sub for clerical. I took a call for one of the bad neighborhood schools that some others turned down. Walked across town to get there every day. I had to start walking at 4:30 a.m. to be on time. I wore dress clothes from a church mission that were way too big, but I did my best. After 4 months they gave me a long-term position, then a permanent one with benefits. I saved up enough for an apartment. Finding a landlord okay with renting to an 18-year-old homeless girl was hard, and started college. I haven't been homeless a day since in the last 15 years. I even have a house now. Amazing to hear this. Probably weird to hear this from a stranger, but I'm proud of you. People like you motivate me. I get so happy for people as well. Quit a job that wasn't making me happy. Went back to college. Just literally handed in my notice at my shitty office job during a global pandemic / tanking economy to go back to college this September. I'm 29 and scared shitless. This has given me hope. Were you an accountant by the way? Also, what are you getting into? I was a staff accountant at Mayo. Quit 2 weeks ago because I hated my boss and company. What make you ask that question, BTW? Reading more and using social media less. I'm almost at the point where I can just delete Reddit. Almost. Reddit can be a good support system. Just don't argue in useless threads. That's the biggest trap in toxic social media. I'll argue all I want to. Thank you very much. You got a problem with that? Like hell you will. I came here for an argument. I quit drinking when I was 24, went back to college when I was 26, and graduated at 29. Fucking needed this. I hope this is my timeline. I'm 24 and 166 days sober. Congratulations. You absolutely can do this. Just one foot in front of the other. I'm proud of you, stranger. I decided to stop comparing myself to my brother and try to focus on the improvable. God, I wish I could do that. I'm the big brother, I should have my S together. I have to disagree with you. I figured recently that nobody really has their S together at any age. Some people are just better at pretending. You got this, King. Well, maybe not in some area, but he is doing much better than me. He has a stable job which he makes quite a bit of money. He bought his house, and he is in the process of buying a 6-apartment building. As a brother who compares himself in a similar regard, I think it's important to remember that no matter what the comparison looks like, or how you perceive it, a great point of view to adopt is he's doing his thing, and I'm doing mine. Proud of him. Proud of me. It's when you're not or no longer proud of yourself that you consider personal change. It's familiar to look over and feel bad about 1 or 2 comparisons. But a great thing about being an individual is 1, it's not a competition, and 2, nobody else can replace you or your contributions to the world. The value of a human soul is intangible. It'd be nice to have equal or superior qualities compared to your brother, but that would remove from your individuality and individual contributions. If you and your brother's relationship is stable, perhaps he can offer advice or at least boost your confidence on the matter. Paid off my debts slowly but surely and worked my ass off to buy a house. Took years, but it was worth it. Getting there myself, the debt part anyway, would be faster if I wasn't paying my way through grad school, but I should be debt free with a master's degree in 2 years. Close bracket. Left the cult. What kind of cult? Blue Oyster. Achieved optimum cowbell efficiency. Realized there was more to life than partying and waking up hungover all the time. God, am I want to stop drinking so bad. I took my last drink of alcohol 2,079 days ago. 508 days for me. We got this, S man. I'll cheers my Red Bull to many thousands more.